Vikings. And good afternoon to you. I'm Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire. I'd hate to be a defensive back today.
I gave both secondaries last rights down there. They're some of the great receivers in football, and I would say about 8 of them are on these two teams. The defense is really going to be tested on each side.
It's going to be some matchup. They're just about ready to go, so let's get at it.
Let's get it.
Jim Bakken has the ball teed up for the St. Louis Cardinals. Manfred Moore and Sammy White. Back deep for Minnesota. Moore is the guy in the middle, and he's the guy that Bakken would like to avoid if he can.
He's leading the NFL.
Manfred Moore at the 11. With a wedge in front of him, he breaks to the outside and got some Bakken. Oh, what a shot. Steve Jones down on the coverage for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And they picked Manfred Moore up from the Oakland Raiders after he was waived. He was just sitting around. Here are the Minnesota wide receivers. Take a look at it, folks. Remember, Tarkenton goes to his backs 58% of the time. Sammy White, Rashad Boyd, and, of course, Bob Tucker is also a tight end. His performance speaks for himself. Look at these for the Cardinals. Gray, Ike Harris, J.B. Kane, and Terry Metcalf coming out of the backfield. Dynamite.
The ball's at the 34, Minnesota's first offensive effort. It's to McClanahan, and McClanahan stopped by Eric Williams. On first down, he got a couple, and that's all.
Eric Williams is the young man from USC that did such a good job Monday night against the Giants, and he's going to get another start for St. Louis.
Here's the Viking backfield. Fran Tarkenton, of course, the quarterback. Brent McClanahan, the guy who just carried the ball, and Chuck Foreman.
The receivers, and one of the good offensive lines in pro football is in front of Fran Tarkenton.
At 35, Tarkenton throws outside in the direction of Ahmad Rashad. Incomplete, Roger Worley. The all-pro cornerback for the Cardinals out there with Ahmad Rashad. Here's the offensive line.
Big, solid, nasty. They're on their home turf, which is natural grass. I mean, a good football player likes to get dirty. They will today.
Temperature today is 51 degrees. 83% humidity. Gray and overcast. In Bloomington, Minnesota, the lights have been on for a couple hours already. On third down and 9, Tarkenton. We'll look at those receivers we were just talking about. Down the middle he goes. That's Bob Tucker. The tight end that was just acquired from the Giants 2 weeks ago.
Tucker's averaged 45 catches a year for 7 seasons. That time he ran a pattern to the outside and brought it back across the middle. Watch to the left of your screen. Tucker turns out. Everything, good blocking, by the way. Excellent protection. Now he comes back across the middle. Really going against the grain, and Sensabaugh has to make the tackle.
First down, Minnesota in Cardinal territory at the 49, and Tarkenton's going to throw again. To Rashad, he has it. Out of bounds by Lee Nelson. Those of you who saw San Francisco defeat Atlanta, welcome to our broadcast. This is the first offensive series between the Minnesota Vikings and St. Louis Cardinals. No score. San Francisco beat Atlanta 10-3.
Looks like Fran may put it up about 45 times today.
He's not afraid. At the 44, second and 1. The fake, and he's going for the bunch. Intended for Sammy White. Nelson back there with him. White makes the catch out of bounds.
That's the cornerback's best friend, and that's the out-of-bounds line there, right behind Stan Jabby, the official. Remember, Lee Nelson is a very young cornerback, a young kid from Florida State. Look how he moves Sammy White, so there's nowhere really to catch it and still be fair. He was foul.
Nelson improves week by week. With experience, he gets better, as you would expect.
Better be good today, I'll tell you that.
Final score, how about that upset? Without O.J. Simpson, Buffalo defeated New England 24-14. Mark Keller in the Minnesota backfield. And that is Chuck Foreman for the first down at the 35. Stopped by Mike Sensabaugh and Roger Worley.
We saw Foreman last week at the 51-yarder that really beat the Atlanta Falcons. That time he actually ran behind a negative block. They pulled the guard and ran in there without any blocking performance. He doesn't need a lot, does he?
There's perhaps nobody in the NFL who does as many things as well as Chuck Foreman. First and 10, Minnesota at the St. Louis 35. Brent McClanahan and Chuck Foreman now the running backs behind Tarkenton. Semi-sprint out. Francis Goetz back to Foreman. That's the move from Foreman. To the 20. To the 15. Chuck Foreman. Ron Jankowski finally made the tackle. Watch the juke he gives to Arneson.
I know it. Arneson now slipped down. The Cardinals are used to playing on artificial surface. This is the safety valve. Now watch this move. We always said he had not only eyes in the back of his head, but cleats on the side of his shoes. Incredible. Linebacker's down, and now there's a problem here. Reeves can't get set up. Looks like the Vikings are downfield, too.
At the Cardinal 15, it's 1st and 10, Minnesota. Chuck Foreman again looking for some place to go, and this time he slips. Still got a couple.
There's the defense for the Cardinals now. Jankowski, Big Mike Dawson, and Charlie Davis, the two young Southwest Conference tackles in there. Big John Zook, still one of the great pass rushers from the outside. The young linebackers that are going to be tested, and a secondary that really has its work cut out for it.
Those good receivers on both teams. We expect a lot of offense, and we've already seen a lot. At the 13, second down for the Vikings. Tarkenton again is going to throw, or try to, and Foreman takes a tackle. Foreman almost to the 10, stopped by John Zook.
Great recovery by Arneson, or Foreman might have scored on that. Cardinals came with a blitz that time up the middle. A perfect call would be to screen away after sprinting out right. It looks to me like the Minnesota offensive line is doing a pretty good job up front right now.
Again, Bob Tucker checks in, and Stu Voigt goes out. Tucker's one of those guys who has that uncanny knack of just getting lost. And all of a sudden he pops up in the end zone. Third down and 5 at the 10, and Tarkenton making motions like he might run. Tucker had it and dropped it at the 6. Down inside the 5, but it's incomplete. Ken Reeves right with him. Dallas remains undefeated. Those of you who watched the Cowboys defeat the Giants 24-10, welcome to Bloomington, Minnesota. I'm Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire. Dallas now 8-0. Never had a start like that.
Fred Cox is 5 for 10, playing his last football for the Vikings, and this is within his range.
At the 17, Paul Krause will tee it up for Fred Cox. No good from the veteran. I can't believe he missed that one.
Guess it was too close.
Not the Fred Cox that we have been accustomed to seeing. Nothing here.
Your family farmed this land for 6 generations, and not one day was easy. The work never ends, but you do it with pride and all the strength you can muster.
Okay, boys, let's go home.
And when the sun finally takes a rest, so do you. And you call it Miller time. Time to relax and head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Beer after beer. If you got the time, we got the beer. Miller Beer.
Keep your eye on number 24. That's Wayne Morris, the second-year running back. He's had 309 yards in his last 3 starts. That makes it tough to worry about Terry Metcalf when you worry about Morris too little.
Gray, Harris, and Kane, the receivers, other than Metcalf, of course. Metcalf is number 21. Morris is the other running back behind Jim Hart. He's not messing around, is he? Hart fires deep. Complete. I believe that's Terry Metcalf. It is. And the dangerous one. Watch him.
Now watch the formation. This is the only thing that he can do from this formation. He can't run to the right side because he's flexed to the left. He simply swings up. Jeff Seaman, number 50, now has to pick him up. And a middle linebacker, there's no way he doesn't need help on Terry Metcalf. Ike Harris, by the way, had cleaned out the area. And Metcalf is so open, I don't believe Jimmy Hart believed it. You better believe it. Right now, you better get a rope. Terry Metcalf. I missed him when he was warming up.
Jeff Seaman just overran him a little bit now. First down, St. Louis at midfield. 9:59 left to play in the first quarter. No scores yet. And here is Metcalf again on the sweep to the right side to the 40. Inside the 40 to about the 37. Stopped by Fred McNeil and Jeff Wright.
Wow, J.V. Kane took Carl Eller down, and they kicked the linebacker out. And that's about as big a hole as I've ever seen against the Vikings. Watch this play. It's a crossbuck, misdirection play, and I'll tell you, that offensive line can really block. Look at him getting out in front. There's your cornerback being wiped out.
Deerdorf and Dobler just wiped out Doug Sutherland. That wiped up the whole thing. First and 10. At the 37, it's Metcalf again. Flag goes down as Metcalf gets close to the 30. Alan Page on the tackle.
They threw the flag on right on the center, Tom Banks. This is such a good offensive line. Occasionally they do hold, but they're even good at holding.
Ben Dreith is the referee. The umpire, John Keck. The headlinesman, Frank Glover. The line judge, Jack Johnson. The back judge, veteran Stan Javy. And the field judge is Dick Ferguson. This will be Ben Dreith.
Offensive holding, number 54.
Center is Tom Banks, and he is number 54. Finney and Deerdorf must go half a ton. They must be 290 apiece.
How about Bob Young?
285.
The world's strongest man. First and 20 at the 47 for Jim Hart and the Cardinals. No score. Hart drops. Ike Harris on the reception. Stopped by Jeff Wright.
And nobody around him. Ike Harris, by the way, is listed at 6'3". He's at least as tall as J.V. Kane, the big tight end. And what an acquisition. Played a little WFL football. And this defensive team right now better get it to go. And there are people wide open.
When you got Mel Gray on one side and Ike Harris and J.V. Kane and Metcalf coming out of the backfield, a lot of guys are going to have busy days. Second and 14. Line of scrimmage is the 41-yard line for the St. Louis Cardinals. They think this game is a must. And I think they're right. Hard on the draw play. Morris, he hurdles inside the 35 to about the 32. Jeff Seaman is the guy who made the tackle.
Talking to Don Coryell before the game, and he says Morris's legs are the second strongest on the football team. Only Deerdorf can do more. You know, they put him almost on a seismograph to check him out, and this guy only weighs 205 pounds.
He shook some ground then.
Through the air.
At the 33, it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Cardinals. Hard again in a passing situation. Keep your eye on Metcalf. Comes out of the backfield. Down the middle to Morris. About the 17. Stopped by Bobby Bryant. Jim Hart looks sharp.
Morris had 13 catches coming into this. Remember, he's the second man out. Metcalf leaves. Now you think you're pretty safe if you're over on defense, and all of a sudden you've got a problem. The other back that nobody ever worried about before has speed and power.
Cardinals come back after that big holding penalty and get the first down. Mark of a good offensive football team. At the 17, 1st and 10.
Looks like the plays are almost pre-called. They're snapping them off.
Got a feeling we're not going to see too many punts today. Hart is 3 out of 3. Here's Morris trying to get inside. Breaks to the outside. Stopped by Jeff Seaman at the 15.
That's the best way to slow down the speed. It's that sudden stop at the end of it, right? Good tackle by Seaman.
2-yard pickup by Morris. Make it 2nd and 8. Doug Sutherland looks over to the sideline.
We haven't mentioned Conrad Dobler yet.
We will.
Dracula, Wyatt Earp. He's got so many nicknames. There's a classy guy, Jimmy Hart.
Fake to Metcalf. Hart with plenty of time throws to Jackie Smith. Inside the 10 to the 5 to the 3. Here's Jackie Smith. Jeff Wright. Nate Wright on the tackle.
Patrick, absolutely no pass rush. And Jackie Smith, who's caught so many, in maybe his last season, caught a big one. Look at this. Look at the pass protection for Hart. Now watch him look around. He's got 4 or 5 receivers. He deploys it, lays it out. He knows exactly what Jackie Smith can do with it. That's always a straight line into contact.
It'll be 1st and goal for the Cardinals. Ball at the 4-yard line. full house backfield now. Steve Jones, Wayne Morris, Terry Metcalf comes in motion. Morris perhaps to the line of scrimmage. No more. Jeff Seaman again at the bottom of the pile.
Seaman was one of the rare Vikings that had an extremely good day in the Super Bowl. Raiders are not Super Bowl champions, but I'll tell you, number 50 really battled that day.
No gain on that last play, so it's 2nd and goal at the 4 now.
The Vikings only have 15 sacks. Toriel is getting information from 2 different coaches upstairs and deciphering the play out to his quarterback. I don't know how he gets it all done.
Again, 3 running backs. This is Jones, Steve Jones.
Got a fumble down at the bottom there, and the Vikings claim they came up with it.
A lot of jumping around by Matt Blair. And he's still claiming they had the football. So far, a rather quiet crowd. Let's watch that play again.
How about a stunned crowd?
Yeah.
Again, the offensive line. There's Gobler coming on through on all 4s. Pretty good defensive stack up here, and the Vikings claimed the ball was loose.
Like they might be right.
They've only recovered 3 fumbles. That's the reason they're so important to them.
3rd and goal to Minnesota 2 for the Cardinals. No score yet. Hart goes outside, cuts down Metcalf. He wastes no time getting rid of it. Jim Hart with a good fake. Nate Allen on the coverage. 80 yards they went in 10 plays, and here's the climax.
6 touchdown pass for Jimmy Hart, who no longer has to throw it all the time because he's got the good running game, and even the spike is quick.
Everything Metcalf does is quick.
Hey, that looked like dummy scrimmage. That looked like they were working out back in St. Louis.
Jim Bakken with Roger Worley holding. Flag goes down. The extra point by Bakken is good. And we'll hold it for just a second and see what the discussion is about.
Patrick, we tried to touch on it, and we don't like to come out and say things.
Fence offside. Point is good. 5 yards on a kickoff.
But the Minnesota defense is no longer the bunch of stingers they used to be. They're not a physical team on defense anymore.
It is 7-0 St. Louis. 4:12 left to play in the first quarter.
We'd like to tell you the cold, hard facts about another kind of motor oil. An oil that will give the average car up to 10 extra miles per tank full of gas. A synthetic engine lubricant that can also help a properly maintained car get started at 35 below zero. Mobil 1, the oil that saves you gas and turns over at 35 below.
Introducing the Ford in your future, the new Ford Fairmont. A new car designed for today and the years ahead. Fairmont's mileage ratings are the same as a little VW Rabbit when both are equipped with automatic transmission. And this Fairmont, as shown, is actually sticker priced less than this Rabbit. Yet Fairmont has 90% of the head, leg, and shoulder room of most large cars. Fairmont, roomy but with mileage like a small car, and the lowest sticker price in its class. Test drive Fairmont, the newest, better idea from Ford.
That's the story of the St. Louis scoring drive. 10 plays, 80 yards. They kept the ball for just over 6.5 minutes, and Jim Bakken has it teed up now at the 40. There was a penalty on the extra point, which was good. The Cardinals then kick off from the 40 instead of the 35, and here's Bakken. Manfred Moore will take it at the 2. With a wedge in front, here he comes. Swinging to the outside, Moore to about the 28, where he's knocked out of bounds by Jeff Severson.
I'll tell you, he's something else. He is so crazy about contact, he played professional rugby in Sydney, Australia, just to get some action in.
Veteran Fran Tarkenton checks in with the Minnesota offensive unit. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 28. The Cardinals lead at 7-0. Draw play to Chuck Foreman, who comes to the outside, or tries to, gets it to about the 29 for a pickup of perhaps one, John Zook and Charlie Davis. From behind the quarterback. Watch that play develop.
And the Cardinals are lined up in a 34 defense. You're going to be seeing more of that all the time. It's a misdirection, sort of a trap away, they call it. Actually, Foreman's trying to get outside. Good play by Davis coming over from the nose position. Buried him.
Perhaps a yard by Foreman. So make it 2nd and 9. That's the final score. Cincinnati 10, Cleveland 7. Tarkenton drops. Outside to Foreman again. And again, Chuck shoots. It's out of bounds after he gets first down yardage. Eric Williams knocked him out.
Eric Williams got pretty good position on a normal person.
But not Chuck Foreman.
Not Chuck Foreman.
Miami 14, the New York Jets 10. That's the final score. Don Shula and Walt Michaels both doing outstanding coaching jobs.
There's the Zucker, one of the great outside pass rushers around.
Chuck Foreman did not quite get enough yardage for a first down. I was mistaken about that. Looks like they need about a foot, and it's 3rd down. Chuck Foreman this time got it. Outside the 40 to about the 41. Mike Sensabaugh came up and made the tackle.
Good block by the fullback, Mark Keller now. Watch the back come in and seal off in front, right there. And Goodrum got a pretty good block along with Tingelhoff. Sometimes that short yardage stuff can break open. You got to be very careful with number 44.
At the 41, first down for Minnesota. Quick screen to Sammy White. A couple of blockers in front. Yeary got out in front of Sammy White.
Great play by Lee Nelson, the cornerback. He came up and took on number 73 you see walking back, who is a house. 6'6", about 270, and Nelson goes about 185.
Detroit shut out San Diego 20-0. That's the final score as well.
2nd and 3 for the Vikings.
7-yard pickup, so make it 2nd and 3 for Minnesota. Foreman down to about the 40 where Sensabaugh made the tackle. A lot of offense so far.
Oh, great blocking in there by Eddie White, number 62, and Tingelhoff. Tingelhoff's about the only center that's ever played up here with the Vikings. Watch him now. You're looking right at it. They turn Dawson around. White gets through the hole and sort of seals it off. It was just wide enough for 44.
Both teams have made 5 first downs already as that calm, quiet, capacity crowd looks on. The Vikings beginning to move. 1st and 10 in St. Louis territory. Tarkenton fakes, again throws to White. Same play again. Yeary comes out in front of him. This time, the Cardinals converge, led by Lee Nelson. He was the first one to hit him.
I'll tell you one thing. He's having his problems because he's a new young cornerback, and the other fellow happens to be Roger Worley. But Nelson has played those two hitches about as well as you can play them.
About a yard. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Minnesota Vikings and the National Football League is prohibited.
Sort of cool, you know what? I almost feel like Canadian geese are going to come over or something.
There's a guy who could tell us. Bud Grant. 2nd and 9. That's the final score. The Eagles 28, New Orleans 7. That's Brent McClanahan on 2nd down, who's got about 3 or 4. Not much. Mark Arneson, one of the tacklers. In fact, all 3 of the Cardinal linebackers converged. Bob Chucker checks in. Stu Voigt goes out.
St. Louis has given up about 4.7 a rush, so people think they can run against them, but they're young and they're sort of improving there, and that would maybe be where the Vikings have to work a little bit to open it up.
Of course, they're coming off that shutout of the Giants last week. 3rd and 6. Tarkenton straight back this time. Throws outside to McClanahan. He's still on his feet. Does not get the first down. He got to about the 35. Roger Worley and Mike Sensabaugh made the tackle. At the end of quarter number 1 in Bloomington, Minnesota, it's the St. Louis Cardinals 7, the Minnesota Vikings nothing.
Are you still chained to? Gotcha. The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor lets you walk away, free from nicks and cuts. It's Its 36 surgical steel rotary razor blades are safely protected inside 3 floating heads to give you a comfortable shave that's razor close, razor smooth, for up to 3 weeks on a single charge. The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor. It lets you walk away from gotcha.
Hi. Heading for your Avis car? Well, I'm the guy who checked it out. Yes, sir. Had the fan belt adjusted, the oil changed, even checked the power windows.
Very nice.
Gonna purr like a kitten. At Avis, we try harder. We designed our own car care program to help make our cars safe and ready to go.
Thank you.
Herbert, is he family?
We try harder, Avis, we don't know another way.
Judd Hirsch guest stars as Rhoda has a new romance.
Dinner to a drive-in movie, make out a little bit.
Yeah, last night, sensational.
Watch Rhoda Sunday night.
At the 35-yard line of St. Louis, Minnesota sends in Neil Clabo, number 12. He, of course, is their punter.
Kicked extremely well against the Atlanta Falcons.
Don Coryell.
You can tell he's a former Marine, can't you?
Surely can. Pat Tilley back in single safety for St. Louis, standing at the 10, but Clabo will try to go out of bounds with it. Hangs it high and into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. A little bit restless up here, it seems to me.
I'll tell you one thing, you've got to get points anytime you get within range against the Cardinals, or they can blow you right out.
CBS Sports Spectacular has the Dixie 500 next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Pendleton Roundup Rodeo, featuring Larry Mahan and group. The world's strongest men competition.
Yeah, what are they going to be doing this time?
I think they already threw the tire, didn't they? A tram pull, whatever that is. Over 8,000 pounds. If you can move that, you got to be strong. 16. At the 20, the Cardinals and Jim Hart. The handoff is to Terry Metcalf, and he cuts back inside, or tries to. He's coming back this way, and look out. This is when he can really be dangerous. Jeff Wright grabbed the foot and hung on. A good tackle.
Seaman made a super play, and I think he's hurt his leg again. Watch Dobler now pull to the right of your screen and go out and work on Seaman, who shoots the gap number 50. Turns back on him, and Dobler just sort of crunched him from behind. Watch the body fall, and now Metcalf gets a little bit of breathing room. Remember, that's regular grass, and he's not used to it. Looks like he's adjusted pretty well.
Mark Mullaney has replaced Jim Marshall as the right defensive end. On second down, Jim Hart drops and throws. Harris almost had a first down. The tackle by Nate Wright again. How about this one? In the fourth quarter, Houston 31, the Chicago Bears nothing.
Tom Phillips has a good defense. He's proved it today. If he can hold Walter Payton down, keep him off the board.
31 points against a very strong Bear defense heretofore.
Patrick, absolutely no penetration by the Viking down 4, and I'm including Alan Page in there. Ray Wilsey,
Cardinal assistant coach,
defensive coordinator, and Larry Wilson looking over his shoulder. That's a pretty good guy to be checking your notes.
Pretty good player he was, wasn't he? Third about 2 for the Cardinals, with Jim Hart again the quarterback, or still, I should say. And it's Metcalf, the ball carrier. He came close. Got knocked backwards, but he came close to a first down. Matt Blair and Nate Wright met him with authority.
Looked like Finney, the off tackle, took Metcalf outside. Metcalf might have gotten to the sidelines, but he cut back inside, and I'll tell you, I don't think he made an inch.
Hart looking over to the sidelines, saying they only need a couple of inches. But we'll see Dwayne Carroll now, who was kicking extremely well in practice before the game, by the way.
I'll tell you, he just drilled the Giants the other day. He had 5 inside the 20 on Monday night, and they had some problems punting the football, and we've tried to tell people that's about the most important thing you can have going for you if it's good these days.
Manfred Moore is back by himself, waiting for Dwayne Carroll's punt. This one, not too good an effort. Bounces at the 40. Moore has it. Loaded down with desire, isn't he?
He doesn't even know what the fair catch is. He's only fair caught 2 punts out of 30 this year.
So with 12 minutes, 20 seconds remaining before the half, the Cardinals lead Minnesota 7-0.
That's a good picture. That's a better picture. Even closer. Even better. Polaroid's SX70 does, without attachments, what no other camera can do. Shoot from less than a foot away. In minutes, you have a color portrait, sharp and clear. Polaroid's SX70 Alpha 1.
When it's so cold, a radiator can freeze solid, and you're still rolling. That's the mark of Xerox. When it's so hot, a radiator can blow its top, and you're still driving cool. That's the mark of Xerox. When corrosion is eating holes in radiators, and you're still going strong. That's the mark of Xerox. Start fresh now with year-round protection. That's the mark of Xerox.
1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 40. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire watching Graham Tarkenton go for Sammy White. Picked off by Mike Sensabaugh, who's still in bounds. He hadn't been out yet. Sammy White from behind, Sensabaugh still on his feet. Cutting back the other direction. Mike Sensabaugh. Finally put down by Brent McClanahan and Doug Sutherland. Chuck Goodrum over to help out, too.
The ball was not thrown very well, and Sensabaugh actually was just coming over on the throw. Here it is. Sammy White running straight up and didn't seem to put too much on. Nelson has a little bit of problem. Here's the comeback, and Sensabaugh gets his second interception in the last 5 or 6 days. He went 79 last Monday night.
Pretty good run, too.
Not bad for an Ohio Stater. Of course, they learned how to run under Woody Hayes, or they can't even go to school there. Now he's nailed.
McClanahan put him down, and Jim Hart, the Cardinals have a 1st and 10 in Minnesota territory. Mel Gray has it. Gray breaks back to the inside, breaks a couple of tackles. Down close to the 20, stopped by Jeff Wright. Talk about dangerous people. Mel Gray.
Jeff Wright looks like he might be hurt, and I'm telling you, Mel Gray at 5'9", I think, is the most dangerous receiver in football. He runs a 4.35. And watch the acceleration. He'll come to the right of your screen now. The fake inside to try to hold the linebackers. A quick, easy, safe throw. And look at this.
He of the very quick feet, and the Cardinals are knocking again.
Introducing a new 1978 Ford Granada, the ESS. Can you tell it from this impressive $20,000 Mercedes 280 SE? Granada. Mercedes. Granada. Mercedes. Granada. Mercedes. The new Ford Granada ESS. See how close you can come to the look of a $20,000 Mercedes at the price of a Granada. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Dribbles to the top of the key, shoots, good. The pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3.
Ever want to watch two things that are on at the same time? Well, now you can, because Sony's revolutionary Betamax deck, which hooks up to any TV set, can actually videotape something off one channel while you're watching another channel. With Sony's Betamax, you won't miss a thing.
A triple play. You've just seen a triple play.
No, I didn't.
You don't see those very often.
Our house?
Except for the insurance and closing.
Oh, well, what insurance company?
Ah, they're all the same.
Allstate's different.
Different. How?
We give a 10% discount for newer homes.
Oh?
It's a 10% discount.
How 10% off our rate?
On basic homeowners insurance for houses 5 years old or less.
Allstate's different, all right.
Good hand.
Oh, boy.
When it takes being different to be better, Allstate will do it.
That's a promise from us. They're good hands, people.
The ball at the Minnesota 23-yard line. 1st and 10, St. Louis. They already lead 7-0. Jim Hart gives to Metcalf. Metcalf looks like he might have some room to the outside. To the 15 he goes. Matt Blair and Jeff Seaman made the tackle.
You want to see Wayne Morris, the other back, do his job blocking. You got to watch this. 24 comes out and just kicks him right out. All right, here's what happens. Here's Blair, the linebacker, now trying to fill. They've Handle Carlisle or Dover's trying to get his fangs on Blair. And I'll tell you, Metcalf zooms in there, but Morris is a good-looking blocker in the backfield for him.
About an 8-yard pickup for Terry Metcalf. So make it 2nd and 2 now. The ball at the 14. Metcalf comes back. Jim Hart gives to Morris, and he struggles. Mark Mullaney, number 77, who's taken Jim Marshall's place, made the tackle. Along with Jeff Wright.
Jim Hart is 7 for 7 for 92 yards, 6 different receivers. Now, that is a game plan. That's what you think about doing all week. And Coryell says that when you lay out the game plan for Jim Hart, that's the way he does it on Sunday.
In the 4th quarter, Kansas City, under their new head coach, Tom Bettis, leading Green Bay 17-10. You saw Ben Dreith indicate how much the Cardinals need for a first down. So it'll be 3rd and inches for St. Louis. Dallas is 8-0 now after beating the Giants today. St. Louis 4-3, Washington 4-3, Giants 3-5, and Philadelphia 3-5 in the NFC East.
A little concern on the sidelines by both Grant and Tarkington.
With inches to go, Jim Hart brings them to the line of scrimmage. 10:20 left in the 2nd quarter. 7-0 St. Louis. The long count, but nobody jumped so far, and finally they did. Perhaps enough for the first down, but I believe the Vikings, Matt Blair was offside.
Either James White or Matt Blair. It was either 72 or 59. It's an easy way to get a first.
That's what happened.
59, 5-9.
Ben Dreith will tell us in just a minute who it was.
The tip-off was that even when they were offsides, they didn't make any penetration.
Defense offside, number 59. That's a first down.
Matt Blair is the guy who jumped offsides. And as Tom Brookshire said, no penetration, even by being offside.
Dover has him by the leg.
Took him right down, didn't he? At the 8, it's 1st and goal, St. Louis. They already lead 7-0. Gary Metcalf to the outside, to the 5, to the 4. Nate Wright and Jeff Seaman made the tackle.
Jeff Wright is back in the game, I believe. He did leave temporarily on that tackle of Mel Gray. And I was trying to figure out when I'd ever seen Jeff Wright have an injury. He's had 5 knee operations, but it always happened in the off-season before he came back to play.
That's pretty bad when you get hurt in the off-season. 5 knee operations?
5. And still plays super.
Ball at the 4. 2nd and goal. Metcalf and Morris, the 2 running backs. Hart fakes and fires. Touchdown again. That's Wayne Morris, I believe. It is Wayne Morris. The Cardinals went 44 yards in 5 plays. They lead now 13-0.
Morris's first touchdown catch, and the key to the thing is how quickly Jimmy Hart loads it up and throws it. Watch this. He doesn't take much time. The offensive line, by the way, is doing a superb job. Look how quickly he throws it. Wright's got his back turned. Morris gets number 1. That will not be the last touchdown pass 24 is going to catch.
Jim Bakken with Worley holding, splits him. Makes it St. Louis 14, Minnesota nothing. We have 9 minutes and 26 seconds left before the half, and the Cardinals, with their offense in high gear, lead the Minnesota Vikings 14-0.
I dare you to knock this off. I dare you to compare anybody's batteries, with alkaline power cells. And try to beat them for long life. You know what? You can't. When you want long-lasting energy, you can't buy a longer-lasting, all-purpose power system than gold, red, and black alkaline power cells from Eveready. Come on. I dare you.
The Viking looks a little dejected right now. The Cardinals lead him 14-0.
His horns are even turned down.
Wilted.
Wilted.
Jim Bakken has it teed up at the 35. Manfred Moore, Sammy White, and Robert Miller back deep in Minnesota. It's going to be Miller, I believe. But he had it for a second, and Moore took it away from him. Give me the ball, it's mine. I'm supposed to play with it.
That's That's about the most exciting thing so far that the Viking fans have seen. A missed Fred Cox field goal in the first period.
Don't forget tomorrow at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central and Mountain Time, Logan's Run here on CBS. We've seen the Cardinals run in this first half so far. They lead Minnesota 14-0. But don't you forget Logan's Run. Got Foreman circles to the right. Tarkenton going deep for Sammy White. Just overthrown. White was open, covered by Roger Worley, but he had a couple of steps.
Ran through that one 55 yards and overthrew Sammy White. So that arm is A-OK. Sammy White was open, too, by about a stride and a half. White does not have the blinding speed that I've always thought he's had. They tell me he goes to the ball better than any receiver they've ever had up here.
He looks like he's fast. He gets open like he's fast.
I tell you, he can really move it.
Denver 14, Pittsburgh nothing in the first quarter. The Broncos are tough, too. Second and 10 for Minnesota. Fran Tarkenton runs the draw play to Foreman. He's got some room. Chuck Foreman has a first down at the 48-yard line, stopped by Marv Pelham.
Watching to the left of your screen, now watch Arneson try to fill the gap and get caught in between. Boy, I'll tell you, sideways, upside down.
What's that again?
Number 44. Now this is the move that you just can't teach anybody. But he had that when he was 4.
At the 48, it's first and 10 Minnesota. Tarkenton moves to the left, looks back to the right, fires. Caught by Ahmad Rashad. He breaks a couple of tackles and comes close to another Minnesota first down, stopped by Sensabaugh.
What a catch. Had 7 last week against Atlanta. But this is one of the great catches because I'll tell you, Francis put some mustard on this because he got into a little bit of a problem. Watch this catch now. That is fingertip control.
It's also very good hands. It's a first down on that completion from Tarkenton to Ahmad Rashad. All at the Cardinal 42. Minnesota moving now. First and 10. Cardinals lead 14-0. Back to Foreman again. This time, nothing doing. Tackle by Ron Yankowski. Los Angeles leading Tampa Bay 10-0 in the second quarter. The Buccaneers still looking for a victory.
And no hope in sight. Except they have, what, the Giants next week.
Next week, right.
If this defense just brings the level of play up close to the offensive thing right now, these Cardinals are going to be somewhere during the holiday season playing some football.
Tarkenton 9 of 13 to 5 different receivers. Keep everybody happy. The blitz doesn't work, and Foreman does. Spins away almost from Eric Williams, but he hung on.
That's a heck of a tackle by number 55 in the open field. This play could have gone for a touchdown. The blitz was on. Pretty good call against the blitz, and nobody reads it faster than Tarkenton. And watch the play by number 55. USC man, rookie.
5-yard gain is all, and as Tom said, it could have been much more. Oakland leading Seattle 10-0 second quarter. They'll make it 3rd and 5 at the 37-yard line of St. Louis for Minnesota. Fake draw. Tarkenton for Rashad. He can't get there.
Wow. I wonder if Fran is pumped up to make sure he doesn't underthrow anybody now, and he's overthrown 2 receivers that were open. That is not like number 10.
Tarkenton walks to the sideline, and Neil Claybo arrives on the scene, the punter. Pat Tilley goes back in single safety, standing at the 10-yard line for the Cardinals. There's Claybo. He looks like a Viking, doesn't he?
He's kicked it out inside the 20 11 times. Very unfortunate here.
Aiming for the side this time. Tilley puts up the hand. Ball again goes into the end zone. And a few boos from the crowd as twice Claybo has tried to kick it out of bounds and both times has put it into the end zone. So the Cardinals will start from the 20. They lead 14-0.
This year, when you step out on the town, don't just drive. Take off in the 1978 Thunderbird with its distinctive look and size, its Thunderbird quality and comfort. And it comes at a down-to-earth price of $58.08 with automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, V8 and more. Flight test the 1978 Thunderbird. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where you been? It wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Hey, Bob.
Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you got and a bottle of Lowenbrow. Steak and Lowenbrow. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
You want to see how adorable and shy I am?
On Our Own, the lights go out and Julia gets turned on by a tall, dark stranger. On Our Own, tonight, following Rhoda.
14-0. The Cardinals lead the Vikings.
Even the cheering section is having sort of a flat day. They didn't seem to be into that one, did they?
Not really. At the 20, Jim Hart still the Cardinal quarterback. 14-0 with 6:14 left to play before the half. Straight ahead is Morris. Breaks a couple of tackles, gets about 6. He looks like a good runner.
One of those unknowns out of SMU. Last year he looked like he was going to be the great runner, and the people around St. Louis claim he's as good a blocker as anybody they've ever had in the backfield, and they've had Jimmy Otis back there for the last few years.
How about that guy? And how about that score? 47-0. Houston over Chicago.
Ron Phillips says he's mad at the officials.
Yeah. Timeout on the field for
It's not working, so we're going to turn both of them off.
Ben Dry said we're going to turn off both of the 30-second clocks. They're not functioning correctly.
You can put people on the moon, but we can't get clocks to run in stadiums. It's really ridiculous, isn't it?
That's 2 weeks in a row we've had problems with the 30-second clock. Very overcast in Minnesota. Threat of rain very present. Here's Metcalf swinging around to the outside and out of bounds. Pushed out by Bobby Bryant. Metcalf got enough for a first down for the Cardinals.
Again, Morris made the key block on the outside linebacker, and I mean cut him down. It's one thing to sort of have somebody make yardage, but when the Cardinals are doing things, there are large open spaced areas around them.
The Vikings look very sluggish. Look what Jim Hart's done so far.
Imagine not having an incompletion yet, and he goes on streaks where he can go 12 or 15 straight passes before one finally misses.
First and 10. Cardinals have it at their own 32. Got rid of it. J.D. Kane has got blockers in front. More than enough for a first down, and big J.D. Kane rumbles down to about the 30. Jeff Wright finally got him down, but what a play by Jim Hart and J.D. Kane.
The Vikings gambled with a blitz and did it backfire. Hart makes a quick read of it. Watch him now. He sees the blitz coming, particularly from the left side of your screen, and dumps it. Dobler's going to the outside. Banks is on the inside. I'll tell you, Kane at 225 pounds is like a runaway locomotive.
Watch Dobler.
Here he is. They said if they played after 12 o'clock midnight that Cardinals will be undefeated. He goes after anybody.
Good block by Dobler. The flag goes down as Metcalf cuts back inside the 25. Jeff Wright again made the tackle, and those safety men from Minnesota have had to make a lot of tackles. Hart is now 9 out of 9.
Guess who they're flagging? I think it's Conrad. And he can't believe it. They said he runs a bar out in Encampment, Wyoming. That's got to be some saloon.
Said he was the bouncer for a while, but he wasn't mean enough.
Now he just plays piano, right?
Ben Dreithel walk it off. We have 4 minutes and 52 seconds left now before the half. Cardinals already lead 14-0. Rather surprisingly, the ease with which they've handled the Minnesota defense.
And it's that offensive line that is the spirit of this Cardinal team, which is very unusual for an offensive line.
72 is holding, and also 54 was holding.
Everybody was holding.
Except Conrad Dobler. Deardoff and Banks both did it. Maybe Conrad was just learning to argue because they're his buddies.
Hart pulled his belt off. I thought he was going to whip the two guys that were holding.
It's the quietest I've ever seen the crowd up here.
It really is. There's Conrad.
Looks like a nice guy up here.
I'll tell him. 1st and 20. Hart. Draw play to Metcalf, and again he gets a big chunk of yardage. Down inside the 30. Jeff Seaman made the tackle.
Metcalf averages 5 yards every time he touches the ball, and really, I think you'd be glad to give him 5 yards. It's those 55-yarders that he can break off.
He can break just about anything.
72 and 54.
A good offensive unit for St. Louis. 14-0 with 4 minutes, 20 seconds left before the half. Metcalf is carried 7 times for 47 yards. Morris comes in motion. Metcalf takes the pitch out. Morris out in front of him. Metcalf down to about the 21-yard line before he's tackled by Doug Sutherland.
And he's helping Sutherland back up. Metcalf can't weigh over 175 pounds.
Don Coryell in communication with everybody. It's intriguing how they call the plays, isn't it?
Offensive coaches, both passing and rushing, talk to one another down to the bench, and then he makes the decision whether it's the run or the pass, and then they somehow signal the quarterback. That's all done in a few seconds.
They designate different guys on each series to signal. And now Hart wants to check out. He must have missed the signal. So Hart goes over. Look at that. Tom Banks, of course, is number 54. St. Louis 14, Minnesota nothing.
It's hard to tell the difference between JCPenney plain pockets jeans and the world's best-selling jeans. After all, they're both made of tough, heavy denim with good looks and great styling. In fact, you probably couldn't tell the difference at all unless you noticed the fancy stitching on the back of those famous jeans, or the money you saved on plain pockets. JCPenney plain pockets. The big difference between us and them is the pocket and the price.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name is known. You can trust it, Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery. When things are getting thick and you want to start real quick, you can trust it, Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery. They've got the stuff when the starting's tough. You can trust it, Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery. Delco Freedom. Thanks, Delco.
Don Coryell looking at his offensive unit now, which has been most impressive. 3rd and very short yardage for the St. Louis Cardinals, who lead Minnesota 14-0 in Bloomington, Minnesota. 3:39 left before the half. Steve Jones, one of the running backs. Straight ahead, Morris, touchdown. His second of the day. And it looks so simple. And here come the Blues again.
Roger Finney and Bob Young on the left side. They just took Alan Page and Mulaney and buried him. Let's watch it. Page was on the nose. They just blew him right through there. And we've said earlier, he hits the line at full speed. He's flat out after 2 steps.
80 yards in 7 plays for St. Louis. It is now 20-0. St. Louis over Minnesota. The extra point is blocked. No good by Bakken. So the Cardinals' lead remains at 20-0. Matt Blair may have gotten a hand on it.
That's about the only thing we've had the people cheer about around here. The thing right now the Cardinals have to worry about is keeping the intensity up. For some reason, the Vikings can't really get it started. They don't seem to be mean or miserable or anything right now.
Blair got a hand on the extra point and deflected it. So that was not good. And look at Coryell. Look at his reaction. 20-0 he leads. He wanted it to be 21. Tonight at 8 o'clock, 7 Central and Mountain Time, Rhoda.
She gets romantically involved with a restaurant owner, which means that at least she'll eat well. I'm reading this copy. They say that the key to a man's heart is through his stomach, and we'll find out if Rhoda can pull that one off. When is that tonight, huh?
Right. See if she can find the key. Jim Bakken tees it up. 80 yards in 6 plays for that last Cardinal drive, and again, they overcame a holding penalty. Bakken's kickoff goes out of bounds, and they'll move back to the 30. Robert Miller just let it bounce over there.
Jimmy Bakken is now sort of seeking out areas to drop the ball into. He can't get to the end zone all the time with it. He's kicked long and extremely well for the Cardinals. But now he's going to be kicking from the 30, and I imagine away from Manfred Moore.
That's a job in itself, to get it away from Manfred Moore. Bakken, for so many years, has done such a heck of a job.
And a return of some kind might be the only way the Vikings can get it turned on.
There's Manfred Moore, and that, of course, Jim Bakken.
He's got a regular leg, just normal leg and shoe, huh?
Straight away. 16 years he's been kicking. And again, a short kick, and Manfred Moore takes it at the 21. Shakes up the middle. Moore out close to midfield. Almost broke it. Bakken had to make the tackle. There's Manfred Moore. And for the first time... Caught down the middle. Robert Miller made the catch inside the 40. I'd like to welcome those of you who saw Kansas City defeat Green Bay 20-10 to our broadcast from Bloomington, Minnesota, where the St. Louis Cardinals lead the Vikings 20-0. At Summerall with Tom Brookshire. Gray, overcast day before a sellout crowd at the Met. St. Louis calls the timeout. They have one left. We have 2 minutes, 54 seconds left before the half. The Vikings have all 3 of their timeouts.
I think the young Williams, the linebacker, is going off like he's shaken up just a bit. You've got to keep in mind that the Vikings have had people wide open, too. They can jump back in this football game very quickly. Coryell knows that.
Fran Tarkenton, 11 out of 17. 1 interception. The Viking passing attack has picked up 92 yards. But Grant looking on. You'll have a chance to look on at the half, and see highlights of all the other games and scores from around the league with Brent, Phyllis, and Irv. But don't go away at the half.
This man can put 400-yard days on the board, and he's overthrown 2 wide-open receivers deep. And the St. Louis defense is still suspect in some areas.
At the 40. First down, Vikings, 1st and 10. Cardinal 40, they trail 20-0. Here's Chuck Foreman coming around to the outside with the knee in. Foreman breaks a couple of tackles, 2 more down inside the 10. Chuck Foreman off to another great day, stopped finally by Mark Arneson. It'll be 1st and goal, Minnesota.
Foreman over 500 yards rushing now. He came in with 495. Look at the block on the outside by number 35.
Robert Miller.
And I'll tell you, Foreman looks for ways to break it open. He doesn't have great speed. He just has great football instinct.
It'll be 1st and goal as we get close to the notification that we have 2 minutes left before the half. Here is Foreman's run again.
Miller makes the block. Foreman makes the yardage. Don't go away.
In stage 1 of my life, I couldn't stand dull wheels. I'm the same in stage 2 with my new 78 Ford LTD2, the trimmer, sportier LTD at a trimmer price, the LTD of mid-size cars.
If you're a sporty guy who appreciates the finer things in life, welcome to stage 2.
Isn't it you in an LTD2? You'll never know till you try.